Hello everyone, Turismo here. Today I'm going to discuss an interesting topic about Jim Fitzgerald, a character from Grand Theft Auto: The Lost and Damned. To give you a background, Jim was one of the closest friends to Johnny Klivitz, the protagonist of the game, and Billy Gray, the antagonist of the game. Jim is supposedly the second eldest member of the Lost MC, being 45 years old, just after Clay Simmons. Jim is married and has a kid. However, he prefers staying at his motorcycle club and with his gang members. It might be because Jim Fitzgerald has an abusive marriage and an unstable relationship with his wife, who presumably hates Jim for running a biker gang. This can be confirmed with many conversations throughout the game.
Never happier than when she's giving me hell.
Way you speak about her, I think Jackie must be in the Angels of Death.
Trust me, so do I half the time.
Jackie's alright, man. She puts up with a prick like you.
The main problem for our topic arises when Johnny starts to run some errands for Ray Boccino, an Italian-American thug working for the Pegorino family. He meets Ray at his club when Billy was talking with him. He starts working for Ray when Ashley, Johnny's girlfriend, asks for a favor, and Johnny, in return, asks Ray to help out with his motorcycle club problems. In the orders of Ray, Johnny goes to a diamond deal where him and Nico, the protagonist of GTA 4, exchange diamond for cash. However, things go south when Luis Lopez, the protagonist of The Ballad of Gay Tony, ambushes them mid-deal. Johnny runs off with the cash, while Nico runs separately in another direction. After the deal, Johnny gives cash to Jim and another gang member waiting at an alley near Voxite. Basically, Johnny decides to betray Ray Boccino. Now here's what I want you to do. Observe that specific gang member standing next to Jim. He'll be extremely important within a moment. So after the deal went wrong, Johnny gets a call from Ray demanding his money. Ray probably got tipped after Nico talked to Ray about the deal. After the deal, Johnny went to Ray, who was expecting to see him. Ray then shows that Jim has been captured and tortured by his men. However, Ray was soon caught off guard and Johnny and Jim escaped from his cafe. Here's where the logic fails. Johnny went to Ashley to make sure she was safe, while Jim said he would get some gang members. However, Johnny was then informed by Ashley that Ray sent some men after him. Johnny then calls Terry and Clay for backup and all of them fight the attackers. Meanwhile, Jim was back at the alleyway and soon meets Nico, but here's the catch. When we go back a few scenes ago, Jim was alone with the fat guy, the bald fat guy, and now there's another guy and the fat guy who look at Nico and mentions he was the same one that Johnny scammed at the diamond deal. Now this fat guy is killed by Nico alongside the second man, and supposedly he was Jim in GTA 4. Now this makes no sense since Jim was the fat one in GTA 4 and in GTA TLAD the fat one is standing next to him. And now he is nowhere to be seen. Where was Jim? What was he doing? And most importantly, why did he go back to the alley? These are some questions that always lingered in my mind. Now this might sound ridiculous, but I think Jim was never dead in the first place. Here's what I think happened. Jim was out to get out of the alley when Ray's men kidnapped him. His bike was left alone and the fat guy was waiting for him. The reason why Jim went back to the alley wasn't just because his bike was there, but he might have some connection in that part. Perhaps he might have lived there, perhaps he might have hung out with other bikers or whatnot. After Jim ran off from Ray's place, he might have seen Nico and the two bikers. The fat guy, who is supposedly Jim in GTA 4, took the actual Jim's bike, and after he called his friend, the second guy, or his friend, took the fat guy's bike, and Nico took the last bike. In conclusion, Jim wasn't identified from forensic testing. He was identified due to his bike. Considering the LCPD is sloppy since people like Francis McCreary is in charge, it's no surprise that they didn't give a crap about a biker's death. Special mention to this comment on Whatever's video to give support to this theory. I'll share you the link in the description. Now, what is my conclusion? Do I think that Jim is going to return in GTA 6? Do I think that Jim is going to be there in the future? Do I think that Jim is going to be anywhere near us? I don't know. What I think would happen is that Jim saw what happened with the bikers. Jim saw what Nico was capable of. So Jim decided to lay down. Remember, Jim is the man with a wife and a kid. So he would have taken no chance returning to his motorcycle club. What I think might happen is that Jim changed his identity, ran off somewhere with his wife and kid, and never contacted his gang again. There was an advantage to it. Johnny thought Jim was dead, his gang thought he was dead, so Jim might have moved out of the city because if he stayed for a longer time, he would have been killed no regardless of the people. Last thing that makes this theory so believable is that Jim's model are literally different and we can literally see where the error is. That's all I have for this video. I hope to see you soon. I'll try and be consistent with my videos, and to be honest, I'm going to divert my content too. I'm not going to make any more gaming videos. I'm also going to make lore videos, some other videos where I'll be discussing about personal life and my experiences. So I'll also be uploading videos with my own face too. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you soon.